Donald Trump expected light, easy questions on David Letterman's show, the usual jokes, the usual banter. But just 10 minutes in, everything changed. The joke stopped, the room tightened with tension, and what happened next became one of the most explosive moments in American television history. Security staff slowly moved toward the stage, and Trump was escorted off live television. What was supposed to be a normal late-night interview, a little laughter, a little chit-chat, maybe some talk about his new book, turned into a night that shook the media world. Backstage in the green room, the atmosphere had already been electric. The studio lights were warm, producers were signaling, and someone offstage murmured, 5 seconds. Trump adjusted his hair and smiled, not like a guest coming to promote a book but like a man bringing his empire into view. When he stepped onto the stage, the audience erupted in applause. Trump waved like a king acknowledging his court. The smile he wore carried that familiar confidence. David Letterman stepped forward, shook his hand, and said, "Good to see you again, Mr. Trump." The opening of the show felt routine. Letterman said, "You have your construction business, your real estate empire, and now your new book, The Art of the Comeback, is out." Trump leaned back in his chair, flashed his trademark grin, and said, "Absolutely, Dave. Success is always a pleasure, and I always aim to win." The audience chuckled lightly, but a question had been waiting in Letterman's eye. He asked, "Your book talks about how if someone fails, they're cowardly or flattering and authoritarian. Do you really believe that?" Trump answered confidently, "This book is about how I overcame every obstacle because I'm a winner. Some people are simply born to succeed, it's in their DNA." Letterman smiled, but the smile cooled. He replied, "DNA for success. Isn't that a bit unfair to people who struggle every day?" The audience shifted, an uncomfortable hush settled into the chairs. Trump answered, "That's life, Dave. Some people end up at the top. I just do what I'm made to do." Letterman leaned forward and spoke softly, "Do you think ordinary Americans struggling to pay rent are failing because their DNA isn't right?" Trump laughed, "I never said that. But yes, some people are winners, and some aren't." Silence spread through the crowd. The camera moved in for a close-up. Letterman picked up a paper and said, "Funny thing, I read some reports about your contractors, small businesses, construction crews, electricians saying they didn't get paid in full after working on your building." Trump's face flushed. "That's a lie," he snapped. "Those cases were dismissed in court." Letterman pressed, "So the court records are lying? Is everyone lying?" The studio atmosphere grew heavy. The camera scanned faces in the audience, curious, shocked, unsettled. Trump leaned in and said, "Dave, this is just business. Everybody does it. It's negotiating." Letterman's voice turned cold, "But for small contractors this is their livelihood. Is it ethical to build your success on other people's ruin?" Trump lifted his chin, "The world isn't built for the weak. Everything I've done was within the law." The audience was quiet. A producer off-camera signaled for a commercial break, but Letterman did not stop. "You call yourself successful," he said, "but what kind of success bankrupts others?" Trump's face tightened. For a few seconds a silence fell over the studio, one of those heavy pauses that marks television history. Then without warning Trump tore off his microphone and stood up. "This show is nonsense. I'm leaving," he said. Security moved forward, but Trump refused to back down. "Nobody treats me like this," he snapped. The audience held its breath. Letterman, calm, said, "All right folks, you don't see this every day." Security escorted Trump gently off the stage. The camera cut to Letterman, who didn't smile. He simply said, "Sometimes the truth doesn't fit a show's format." When the cameras stopped rolling, chaos rippled through the green room. Someone whispered, "Did we just really have him removed?" Another voice said, "This will be history." The next day every headline trumpeted, "Donald Trump removed from live TV." Trump's spokesperson released a statement calling it staged, but inside accounts told a different story. Trump shouting at an advisor as he left, "You'll regret this. No one treats me this way." That night, clips of the confrontation exploded across social media. Millions shared footage of Trump's face reddening. Silent gasps from the audience replayed again and again. Some called it a moment for democracy, others called it peak entertainment. The reality was more complicated. The interview changed both men. Letterman wasn't just a late-night host after that, he became a figure who spoke truth into a live arena. Trump, who had always seemed invulnerable on camera, appeared to crack in front of millions. They say Trump avoided late-night appearances for months after. His PR team canceled show bookings, but the moment never left the public eye. Years later, when asked if he regretted that night, Trump smiled and said, "I regret nothing. I always win." But records and memories suggested otherwise. For one night America witnessed power, money, and bravado melt under studio light. When Letterman glanced at the audience for the final time he had said, "Sometimes the real joke is the thing that turns serious." Lights went down, but that night never dimmed. So subscribe to our channel to